Hi, and welcome back to some more kids' sports psychology insights by David Charlton. So today it is the parent who we're going to focus on. So I can imagine a lot of parents who are watching this may have self-critical children. So children who play their sport, they might even play pretty well, very well even. But when they're finished, all they think about is the downsides, the things that haven't gone well. And they beat themselves up. And it just appears that they're not enjoying their sport at all. Well, this firstly is quite normal. We do have a bias in our brains there to think negatively, and some more so. I think scientists say that 80% plus of our thoughts are actually negative. I hope that's somewhat reassuring. However, let's be honest, as a parent, it's a big challenge. Emotionally, it's not very nice to witness, is it? When your children are very, very emotional about these sort of circumstances. It seems irrational to you at the time, and you must wonder, how is it that I can help? Well, if we think about this glass of water here, so the water, this represents clear thoughts, perception, and no negativity at all. And imagine just pouring orange juice into this water, bit by bit, more and more orange juice. And gradually, the color of the water changes from the color it is now until it's a deep orange. Essentially, this self-critical behavior from children is like hypnosis, where they're telling themselves negative things after negative things, and they're just pouring more and more orange juice into this water. So, what happens then? As a result, there's a fair chance that your child is going to lack self-confidence and or self-esteem. So, back to how we can help them. Well, firstly, what I'd like you to do is consider, what temperament would you like your child to have when they grow up, when they're older? Do you want them to experience real highs and real lows? Or would you like them to be more calmer and rational about different things? Then, if that is the case, if it is number 2 there, you would prefer the calmer, more rational person under pressure when they're stressed, then maybe you need to look inside. Look at the way that you communicate. So if we go back to the sporting analogy there, they've played a game, they've finished, they're being tough on themselves. How is it that you actually communicate with them? Do you focus in on solutions and tell them maybe about the good things that they did? And then the conversation continues and you end up talking tactics and technical things. Is this actually helpful? Maybe you might even weigh in there with some improvements that they could make. I really would question whether that is helpful at that time. If we think about it with sport, the child's arousal levels when they play, well, we'll start at the start of the game, will be low. But potentially, just as the game's starting, it then picks up. And as the game goes, it picks up more and more. And if things aren't going very well, the arousal levels just keep on going and keep on going. And towards the end of a game, a child can be, quite stressed out. So their arousal levels are up here. And then as a parent, maybe your arousal levels start around here. They creep up, stay around here. And then you notice a few things about your children when they play. You might be embarrassed or feeling like they could have done better. You might be a bit upset, so your arousal level goes up there. If you think about it, in those situations, child's arousal level's up here, yours is up there. Is that a good combination for calmness, for having a bigger picture perspective? I'm not so sure. So my advice there would be to think about emotions, and not just their emotions, but your own emotions. So how do we all become calmer at that time? Maybe both the child and yourself need a little bit of space, or maybe a hug, some sort of love and attention there. That can be quite helpful just to calm people down. Even just listening to the child vent or talk. I'm switching the subject somewhere else. Even mobile phones, dare I say it, that actually might be quite calming to your child because they're used to them. So yeah, give it some thought on how your child could actually calm down. You might even want to have a conversation with them and also consider it from your own perspective. So one other little thing on this, I would be tempted to leave the whole problem solving till either a few hours later when things have settled down, or the next day, or even the following day. When there's no stress, everybody's quite relaxed. And then, you can get into the description of what actually happened during the game. You can look at the so what and the difference that could be made by them doing certain things better or worse. And then you can get into now what actually happens, and some action planning. I hope you have found this helpful. What you might want to do is look at episode 122 of the Demystifying Mental Toughness podcast. And this is where I interview Professor Camilla Knight, who's an expert in the field of youth sports psychology and helping children get the most out of their sport. I would imagine if you've enjoyed this, you're going to find that helpful as well. Have a fantastic day.